spend that money locally to help our local economy first. Please don't go out running to big box stores where the money leaves town and leaves the state, as a matter of fact. Think of the local mom-and-pop businesses right here in the Blackstone Valley. And think local first. Buy local first. Support your friends and neighbors. Thank you.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio. ON Radio.
Hi, I'm Dave Gobiel, the president of the Blackstone Valley Buy Local Group, supporting and promoting the independently owned businesses of our area. If you're not a member, I'd love a chance to sign you up. Message me at our Buy Local Blackstone Valley Facebook page or go to buylocalbv.org if you wish to sign up today.
Shop local first. All across the area, shop here first.
The CDC is adding 6 possible new symptoms to its list of COVID-19 indicators. It says chills, repeated shaking with chills, sore throat, muscle pain, headaches, and a loss of taste or smell are possible symptoms. CDC guidelines originally told doctors and patients to look for fever, cough, and shortness of breath. The World Health Organization is warning countries that relying on so-called immunity passports to reopen economies may not work. Some governments are hoping to test people for antibodies that show they've recovered from COVID-19. Then they'd get documents allowing them to return to a normal life on the theory that they're immune to the deadly coronavirus. But the WHO says there's not enough data to draw conclusions and cites some cases in which people who've had the disease have become reinfected. Health Update, Sarah Lee Kessler, NBC News Radio.
The number of deaths of residents at the Soldiers' Home in Holyoke you've been hearing about in the last month has reached 67. That's 30% of the 226 residents who were living at the home when the coronavirus pandemic began. More than 80 other residents and dozens.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email at joe@onesockeradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel on ON 1240, WOON One Socket Radio.
And a good morning to you. It's Tuesday morning. It's April 28th, and it's time for Coffee In on ON AM and FM. And I'm Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. On the phone this morning, Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group. Good morning, Ed.
Hello there. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing. It's all right. Linda Tebow is here as well, also on the phone. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Joe.
Are you better than nothing?
Oh, I'm great. I'm feeling great.
Excellent. Glad to hear it. All right. Before we jump into everything, let's get a first message from the Carew Investment Group. So first message from you, Ed.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here of the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. Telephone number is 765-8880. And if you're looking for an investment firm that puts you first and works hard on your behalf, I'd like you to consider us. We're right here in Woonsocket, and we've been in business since 1987, so you don't have to go out of town for an experienced advisor or work with an advisor based in Boston or New York or who knows where, someone you're probably never going to meet. And we encourage our clients to come to the office and sit down with us as often as they like. Why? Because we like to do business the old-fashioned way. We want to get to know you on a more personal basis so that we're more attuned to your financial needs. So if you're interested in speaking with us for a free, no-obligation consultation and find out how we'll invest your money, you can call me or you can call Paul at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Very good, Ed. Thank you very much. All right. Did you hear that first news story that we had on the national news at the top of the hour?
You're talking to who?
Both of you.
Oh.
Just they told you right off the bat, stock up on meat.
Oh.
Yes.
It looks like it's going to be a nationwide shortage of everything. Just because they keep closing down the processing plants, because that's where the virus happens to be, especially with Tyson Foods.
Yeah, well, Tyson Foods amounts to about 3% of the meat in the United States. So,
okay.
One thing about the media, no offense, Joe, the media, they tend to exaggerate stuff.
Well, you're absolutely right, Ed, and it drives me crazy that they do it. And it started right off the bat. Everybody panic.
Yeah. Let's cause a shortage.
Let's cause a run on the stores.
Yep.
Everybody, run now and do it, or you're going to be left out. It is what they're saying, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I want to put the phone down. I'll be right back. I'm going to the store to get some meat.
Well, first I got to go buy a freezer, and then I'm going to the store.
Then you're going to go buy it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, oh boy, you're right, Ed, and they do exaggerate, and
it's like
I hate
the
that
toilet paper thing all over again,
It will be.
Yeah.
You might end up buying whatever meat happens to be there, even if you don't like it.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I draw the line there somewhere.
Yes, somewhere along the I don't like it and buy it anyway. It don't work.
The only thing left is bratwurst, and then that's all I could get. So
Yeah.
And I don't want that. So we'll see what comes of it, of course. But please don't panic right now, and let's not be running stores.
Joe, I think the sad thing about all of that is that all those folks who are working in those processing plants without the proper social distancing, without the mask and the gloves and blah blah blah, all of the above, and that they all got sick. That
Right.
That's the human part of it that I'm not happy with. I think that's not right. And those are the people that had a work ethic as I must go to work, and that kind of thing. Yes. So it's too bad. It's too bad.
Or at the time, it could have been, if I don't go, they're gonna
get rid of me.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
So
exactly. Yeah.
So what do I do in this case? I don't know. Since Ed's here, and Ed, you're a smart guy.
You think?
I think so.
All right, I'll accept your opinion.
Explain this to me. What is the difference between being laid off and being furloughed? And because I always made the presumption that they were the exact same thing, but now you hear it in stories. Well, 70 people at this certain company, 70 people were laid off, and 50 were furloughed. What's the difference?
Okay, well, when you're laid off, you are no longer working for the company, right?
Okay.
Without expectation of coming back. If you're furloughed, if you were ever in the military and you went out on furlough, you better come back.
Yeah.
Okay? So if you're furloughed for a job, it's just a temporary situation. They expect to have you to be able to rehire you.
But you're still laid off, right? If you're furloughed.
You are temporarily not working. Like I said, they expect to be able to rehire you. If you're laid off, it's like, yeah, we don't need you anymore. See you later. Have a good time. We'll call you maybe.
So then what's the difference between being fired and being laid off?
Being laid off, you can collect. If you're fired, you usually can't. Usually you're fired for cause.
Okay. All right. As opposed to what's going on now.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're laid off, the company doesn't expect to bring you back. If you're just furloughed, they do expect to bring you back. That's basically the difference?
Yeah, I would say that's basically the difference. Some companies will let you go for a period of time, like say Boeing. They furloughed some people because they said, we're closing the plant, the production line, for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And at the end of 3 weeks, you guys are coming back. Well, that's what they would consider a furlough.
But
okay.
Can I just chime in a minute, Ed? But, like the people that are laid off because of the COVID crisis, I mean, I was laid off. I don't think Barbara's trying to get rid of me. I think, it's not, we're just not in business right now. So during this time of, during this COVID situation, people are laid off because the businesses are not open. Not that people were just trying to get rid of, the employers were not wanting to get rid of those folks. The business wasn't operating anymore. Does that
I
make a difference?
think another way to distinguish that was if you're laid off, I think the company continues to pay you. Where if you're furloughed, rather, the company continues to pay you.
Oh, with a furlough, they don't go on unemployment.
Right.
If furloughed. Oh, okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it still seems that some people just use the terms interchangeably.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's really a difference between the two.
There's a difference, but it's not all that big. You're still not at your place of employment.
Right. Oh, okay.
But you have a place to go back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would think so. Yes, pretty sure I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Ed, I saw over the weekend that the New York Stock Exchange was thinking of bringing the runners back onto the floor. Do you hear any more about that?
The runners?
Well, the brokers.
Traders?
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the traders. Yeah.
No, I haven't heard any more on it, but it was always their intention to bring them back.
Yeah. Now, have they been closed, the New York Stock Exchange? Or just shut down?
There's no. I don't know if the building is completely empty. I doubt that. There must be somebody, a maintenance crew or something. But there are no traders there.
But work still goes on there, correct?
Oh, it's all computerized.
Yeah. So why bring them back?
Because humans sometimes make better decisions than machines. Machines only make the decision they're programmed to do.
Okay.
Humans can analyze things and say, "Oh, wait a minute, this shouldn't be happening."
Okay. So, but that hasn't happened yet. The traders are not back on the floor, are they?
Not yet.
No. Okay. Have you heard of a date where they might come back, or is it just all contingent on what Cuomo wants to do in New York?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They can't pick a date and say, we're going to reopen, and then Cuomo says, no, you're not.
All right. All right. Let's see. What did I want to bring up next? Okay. I don't know how the two of you feel about this, but up in Somerville, Mass, and in Cambridge, Massachusetts, but Somerville is getting most of the attention for whatever reason, they might fine you if you're caught outside not wearing a mask. And now it's supposed to start on Friday. I think it starts on Friday. And they're going to go for a week where the police will warn you, okay, you really need to be wearing a mask outside. They may even give you one. But after a week, they're going to start handing out citations, $300 fine. Now, I bring this up because to me, and you may disagree, but to me that seems to be a bit of an overreach. Because it sounds like if I'm standing, and I know Somerville's a city and there's not many places where people have front yards and like that, but if I'm in my front yard in Somerville not wearing a mask, I can be cited for that? To me, that sounds like overreach. Any thoughts?
No, I don't know what the wording of that is. If you're sitting outside, having a soda on your front porch or something, you're going to be fined. It's going to be tough to drink your soda with a mask.
Very tough. I'm going to try to find the exact story here.
I can understand if they say going out in public.
In public,
where there are other people, that'd be one thing. But if I'm out, cutting the grass with my riding mower and I'm in a bag somewhere, I don't think I'm wearing a mask.
Yeah.
City officials, in Somerville, city officials say masks must be worn by people in public places, regardless of whether they are inside or outdoors.
Okay, public places.
Public, yeah.
That's the key word, public places.
Public
2 words.
places, yeah.
Okay, so if you're in your front yard, you're okay. Because that was the other thing I was considering. Well, what if you want to go for a walk?
Well, you'd be wearing it. It's if you're going to walk on the street, you're in public places.
All right. Then that's what I don't agree with.
Okay, don't go then.
Well,
Mansfield.
I'm very rarely in Somerville.
Good. So you're safe.
Yes, I have been there a few times, but I have absolutely no reason to go there right now, and I don't plan to. But I'm concerned about the residents there. They tell you, okay, stay inside, and I get that. the whole social distancing thing. But then they, officials say, well, be sure to go out for a walk. And Linda, you do that. I mean, you go for a walk around.
I do that. Yes, I do. Right. But when all that started, because it was an executive order to wear masks outside. At first, it was actually, it's still a recommendation. But the when I had checked in with the Department of Health, because I do that, and they, and even Gina had said, if you go out for a walk, that if you're exercising, then you don't need one if you're not in contact with anybody, Like when I walk in my yard, I surely do not wear a mask, or, even in the empty parking lot, I don't. But then again, I don't go anywhere else. So, but I thought Barrington did that here in Rhode Island too. That they were going to find people without a mask in public, where you're going to come face-to-face contact with people.
I thought it was Barrington was the first town in Rhode Island that said you had to wear a mask if you went into a store.
Right.
And then it became a statewide edict.
Right. And she made it an edict. Yes.
But I thought that was just going into businesses, not just standing around outside.
Well, it's certainly in your own yard. That's not public.
Right.
Well, right.
Private property.
But I just worry about the more and more of your rights are just being taken away, using the guidance of, well, it's for your own good, or it's in the best interest. Well,
yeah.
What if I don't think it's in the best interest? What makes you smarter than me?
Well, I think a lot of these, I know that many of these decisions are science-driven. And as we get back opening up businesses, we're going to see masks for a long time. We're going to be wearing masks, I believe, for a long time, until, such time as you don't see a resurgence of this virus with the opening of businesses.
Mm-hmm. Does that bother you that we're going to be wearing masks for a long time?
It's going to be the new normal. The thing is, I have to tell you, I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse. And infection control principles have been, for a long time, what you're hearing now. It happened during the HIV. That's when the dentists started wearing, and their people started wearing masks and eye shields and everything. You wear the mask to protect other people from you. That's what it's all about. And, I've never been through a pandemic. I don't know that nobody else has either that's still alive, I don't believe. It's a big deal. And I get it. People want to go back to work, and, everybody's got a right. It's like, but people are dying. People are dying. People are putting their lives on the line to go to work every day and take care of people. Mm-hmm. So is it do I mind the inconvenience? No. It's kind of stinky, but you do what you have to do so that you don't get other people sick. That's my own personal opinion.
All right, more on this coming up, but we got to get a second message from the Carew Investment Group, so it's back over to Ed, please.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Ed Carew here. Are you retired or retiring soon? Well, that's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal management of your investments, and we manage client money. That's what we do, especially from the proceeds of their 401k plan after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you could call me, Ed Carew, or you could call Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Very good, Ed. Okay, we're going to take our first break here on Coffee In. Comments and questions can be called in, 766-1240, or email them in to me, joe@woonsocketradio.com.
Takeout and delivery has resumed at River Falls Restaurant. They'll be open Tuesday through Sunday from 11:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Besides their regular menu items, they now have new additions at River Falls, including pizzas, steaks, 8-ounce filet mignon, and 12-ounce grilled ribeye, plus veal entrees and new reduced-priced appetizers. You can still get Ma Glockner's chicken every Sunday, but you need to pre-order that before Friday. Go to River Falls' Facebook page to see the new menu items. You can order through Grubhub or Uber Eats for delivery, and for takeout, call River Falls at 401-235-9026, 235-9026. River Falls Restaurant, Market Square, Woonsocket. Because of the coronavirus, in-store shopping has been suspended at Wright's Dairy Farm until further notice. However, milk, cream, eggs, bread, cakes, and more than 70 of your favorite bakery items are still available every day at Wright's Dairy Farm through their no-contact curbside pickup. There are now 2 ways to order your items at Wright's Dairy Farm. Have your credit card ready and call them at 401-767-3014, extension 4, 401-767-3014, extension 4, or go online to wrightsdairyfarm.com. You choose the day and time that you want to pick up your order. When you arrive to Wright's Dairy Farm, follow the signage and instructions given. Stay in your vehicle, and your order will be brought out to you. Wright's Dairy Farm is open Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wright's Dairy Farm thanks you for your support and patience during this time. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
ON, AM, and FM.
It is Coffee In on ON Radio. I'm Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning. Linda Tebow is here. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Right, Ned Cruz here. Good morning, Ed.
Good morning.
Okay, as we continue with the whole wearing of the mask, you know, do you find this silly? If you're walking down the street and you're all alone and there's nobody around you, why do you have to wear a mask?
You never can tell if somebody's going to, pop up, come out of their house, or not pop up, but come out of their house or out of a car or whatever.
But you'll still be 6 feet away from them, Ed, when you see them, so you can make your arrangements to be farther away from them.
Look, Joe, it's real simple. They want you to wear a mask when you're out in public.
I understand what they want. I'm just saying, I don't.
If you're trying to finagle some kind of a way
how you
to not do it,
right? Yeah.
Well,
if you don't want to wear one, don't. But suffer the consequences.
But I'm going with Linda's advice from weeks back, because they said wear anything, even if it's a bandana. Like you're going to rob a tree.
I'm going with that.
Bandana. You're right. That's what I use.
But Linda
said do that.
Linda says they do nothing.
Well, they do something. They do something. They protect other people. They protect other people from you, Joe. The mask, and I've said it from the beginning, as well as all the scientists, that the mask, the cloth covering, only protects other people from you, not you from other people. The social distancing is the big thing, and they made the big deal that the message is that let's try not to spread the virus, and that happened. Like when I was in the hospital and we put all our protective stuff on, we were wearing high grade masks to protect us from any kind of contagious disease. But a part of it was to protect the folks that we're taking care of from us. So it goes both ways. And, originally, and I said that, I did say that because it's what the scientists were telling us. But now, if we want to get back to work, and I think a lot of people do, and we want to see some semblance of of society again and be with people. I can't wait to be with my family again. I really, I miss them terribly. And if it means I have to wear a mask for a while, I will. It's going to be part of opening up the United States to business again. I can't wait to go get a haircut.
That makes two.
I need a haircut.
That's right. Ed always went for a haircut every 2 weeks. This must be driving you crazy, Ed.
It is.
Yes, I know.
I feel like I should have a ponytail or something.
There you go. There you go.
All right, but it won't be long.
All right, Ed, I believe it came out yesterday. Your favorite airline, JetBlue. JetBlue was the first airline company to come out and say all passengers must wear a mask while flying.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Starting Monday, next Monday, May 4th.
So let's say everything's okay by the end of the summer, and you're taking your annual jaunt down to Aruba later in the fall. Are you going to wear your mask on JetBlue's flight for the entire flight?
If that's what they're
ordering,
if that's what they're saying you got to do, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. And by the way, that's not a bad idea when you're flying anyways. Because that air is circulating throughout. So even if it were not a virus, you could easily catch a cold or a flu or anything with that air that's in the airlines, the planes, if they don't change their filters as they should.
Okay. Well,
it's not a good thing, Joe. It stinks. Yeah. All of these things that we have to do right now are not fun, for sure.
No.
It's not good. I'll tell you something. You always ask me what's going on with Aging Well, and aside from the fact that we sent our letter to renew our lease, and hopefully we'll get a response soon. But the people that are doing the grab and go lunches, and Barbara told me, she said it's so sad because some of those people are so isolated, and and a few of them said to Barbara that that's the only people they get to talk to in a day.
Yeah.
Through masks and whatever. So, they're sad. They're sad. It's and as a matter of fact, if you know somebody that's older, I'm fine. I get a lot of, I get connected. I'm connected to my family and everything. But if you know of somebody that's living by themselves and maybe they don't have children or whatever, give them a phone call. Talk to them because it's not good. Nothing is good right now. It stinks. But we have to do what we have to do we'll get through this, we'll get through this and hopefully stronger on the other side, but.
And you use the term, Linda, we got to get used to the new normal. And that term just drives me crazy.
I know it does, Joe. I know it does. I know it does. But I don't know if you saw the plan that the governor, and I have to tell you, I think she's doing a great job, and I never politically agreed with her anyways, but she's doing a good job. But she's very methodical. She listens to what, the experts are telling her and how she, it'll be incremental, this things will open up, and instead of, 5 people you can be with, it'll be 10, and then so that if we see a surge, we can go back again. So I don't want it to surge again,
Right.
So my husband gets impatient, but, you have to do what you have to do to get through this for now.
True. A surge may come again. We may not have any control over that.
Right. But
it may just happen.
It may, but how about if we try to control what we can control?
Mm-hmm.
I
did see the governor's plan. I found it a little confusing and kind of vague.
Well, it is vague. She's going to fill in the details, but for now,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't feel as dumb now. Okay, good. This may open, and it's like, well, who's going to open? And there were no specifics. So
no.
And up in Massachusetts, Ed, the mayor of Boston says we're not opening on May 4th, and it doesn't matter what the governor says.
Yeah.
kind of. And the governor says he's coming out with something, later this week about what he's going to do because the stay in place order, I guess, is going to expire on May 4th. So
I can't imagine that it won't be extended.
Yeah. probably to the it probably extended out another month. Do you think? Okay, let's go to June 4th right now and see what happens.
At least 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah,
they may go a month, but I would think 2 weeks probably would be his first move. He doesn't seem to take big moves, you know.
No. But he did say, was it yesterday? He said that COVID-19 cases in Mass had plateaued.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's over. Plateau just means it's not getting worse.
It hasn't got higher.
There's usually from what I've seen of all the charts, and I'm a chart guy. The charts that New York has been showing, that the plateau seems to last for about 7 to 10 days before it slowly starts to come down the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what they're looking for is the decline.
Yeah.
Right.
That's even what Trump's administration said. We want to see a decline for 14 days, which is why I was surprised that some of the states opened up, even though that wasn't happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but even in some of those states where they said they could open up, a lot of businesses are electing not to open up.
Not to, exactly, because they don't want to. You know, the thing is, if we don't do what's asked of us, you know, it could go right back to day one. You know, if we see, you know, it surge right away. That's, you know, I'll be happy when that stay-at-home order is gone on May 8th. For Rhode Island, that's her target date. So
if it goes away,
exactly. You know, the numbers have been. It looks like we're plateauing too. Yeah. But I've been watching like the hospitalizations and how many people in ICU and how many people on ventilators. That's going up a little bit. So, you know, there's a lot of balls in the air before things happen, you know. No.
The other thing that, and I'm sure this drives the younger people kind of crazy when they hear it, and it's out of Massachusetts and Rhode Island, when you hear that the majority of people passing away are in nursing homes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just think, well, I'm not going to a nursing home. Why does this affect me? Mm-hmm. But it's not 100% from nursing homes, so it is. You can still get it no matter what age you're at. So
yeah, and, you know, younger people are getting it too. I mean, it only makes sense that people in nursing homes would get it because they're already compromised.
Right.
Yes. And sick from something else.
You know, so. I mean, they're compromised way more than a 27-year-old or you know, or an 18-year-old or a 50-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But there have been young people that have died, you know, including some nurses that are taking care of those people have died, or even, you know, your policemen, your firefighters, first responders. And, you know, I hear what they're saying. And one gal that was interviewed that really frustrated me, and it was one of those states that's opening, you know, it's only affecting those people 60, and I'm not 60, so why should I worry about it?
It's tough to combat ignorance, isn't it, Linda?
Well, you can't fix stupid, yes. You know?
Stupid is right.
You know, it affects everybody, folks. You know, it affects everybody. I mean, Joe, I'm perfectly healthy. You know, knock on wood and everything. You know. No hypertension, no diabetes, no anything. But, you know, chronologically, I'm still 76 years old. And, you know, and I'm staying home.
Yeah.
I'm staying home because you know, it's like, you know, what some of these young people haven't, well, maybe some of them have, but, you know, World War II, the Vietnam War, 9/11, you know, that happened in New York, but it affected all of us. World War II was over in Europe, but it affected all of us. So something like this is a pandemic, and it affects all of us. And it's time to step up and do your part.
Very good. All right, time for the forecast right now, which is being brought to you by CVS. Today, cloudy skies. High temperature will be near 53. Still kind of windy, though. Wind gusts as high as 24 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming mostly clear, low around 34. Wednesday starts out sunny with increasing clouds, high near 61. Wednesday night, it'll be cloudy skies, low around 41. Thursday, cloudy with showers likely, mainly in the morning, high near 56. And the outlook for Friday, showers mainly before noon. Rain could be heavy at times, High temperature on Friday near 64. Currently at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street under partly cloudy skies. Dave, what temperature do we have? Okay, Dave's not. Let's go. Let's go. What do we want to go with? How about 45? Does that sound about right? All right. I don't have the temperature right now. So get free
43 degrees in Woonsocket. It's 39 degrees in the People's Republic of Middleborough.
So close at 45. Wow. Get free.
It's 82 degrees in Oranjestad.
Oh, thanks. Get free 1 to 2 day delivery of prescriptions and store essentials from CVS. Visit them online or call your local CVS to learn more. Restrictions apply. More Coffee Ants coming up. Stay tuned.
I'm here with Kara Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency. What types of insurance do you provide?
If you come see me, Kara, I will help you review and protect the most important assets in your life. We offer protection for personal lines and business lines of insurance in Rhode Island and Massachusetts. My mother, Celeste, will help you plan for retirement and assist you with protecting your family by providing life insurance.
You're in good hands with Allstate and Kara and Celeste Benjamin of the Benjamin Insurance Agency, 125 Eddie Dowling Highway, across from Dowling Village in North Smithfield, 765-5000.
Our business is truly a referral business, and we have built it based on our premier service level and commitment to what we do. If you are looking for personalized service with people who care, that would be us.
Are you tired of the same old dishing and depressing chatter in the morning radio? Then don't get down. Get up with me, Dave Richards, from 5 to 8 a.m. each weekday. On the Road with Joe, fun, the trivia quiz, and interesting stories, and your favorite tunes by your request. Don't get down. Get up with Dave. Weekday mornings only on ON, AM, and FM.
Gators Pub has reopened for takeout and delivery. You can order delivery through DoorDash, but for takeout at Gators Pub, call 401-769-2220. 769-2220. Call Gators Pub with your credit card ready. Then when you get to Gators Pub's parking lot, call them back and let them know you're there. Gators Pub curbside takeout hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Gators Pub full menu is offered for takeout and delivery. Gators Pub on Victory Highway, Slatersville reminds you to be on the lookout for weekly promotions and deals. Gators Pub has reopened for takeout and delivery.
It's Coffee In on ON, AM, and FM. This is Joe Callahan here with Linda Tebow and Ed Carew as well. And so from what I'm hearing from both of you, you want me to stay inside, and if I even step outside, I need to wear a mask at all times, right?
No, not in your own yard, Joe.
All right. Thanks. What if I go to the mailbox, which is on my property, but I do have to step into the road to get the mail?
Oh, you don't need one for that.
All right.
You have to put it on when you put that foot into the road, though.
Yeah.
All right. I'll carry it with me.
Hold your breath.
That's what I'll do. I'll hold my breath.
We're not picking on you, Joe. We're not picking on you.
I should get some scuba equipment.
There you go. There you go.
It's easy to pick on Joe.
Isn't it easy? You're absolutely right.
It's not fair. We shouldn't. You're the host. I'm sorry.
No, but if you think I'm incorrect, that's fine that you pointed out. But I worry about all our liberties being taken away. So
I hear you. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No question.
Just be aware.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's see other things going on. We had a news story this morning, and that a former Woonsocket city councilor is not happy that the way that the city council is conducting their meetings right now. They have to do it in everyone's home. It's all done over Zoom, and he's not happy that they're not doing the Pledge of Allegiance at the meeting. And the reason, the reasoning is why they're not doing it is because through Zoom, if you have more than one person talking at a time, and if they're all reciting the Pledge of Allegiance at once, you can't hear anything. Mm-hmm. It's just noise. And the other reason was when you do the Pledge of Allegiance, you're supposed to you should stand up.
Right.
Now, when everyone stands up, now the camera that's on your laptop is pointing right at your stomach.
Yep.
So that's all you see, and you really can't. And you can't even hear the person talking, and now more people are talking because the microphone is farther away because now you're standing up. So that's the way it was explained to me by John Ward. This is why they're not doing it, mostly because the camera is focused in on everybody's stomach. So they thought that was disrespectful. So they said, why don't we, for the time being, while we're doing these meetings by Zoom, let's stop doing that. So that's what they were all in agreement, and that's why they decided to stop doing it. But it upset one ex-city councilor who thought it was not a good idea. Are you okay, Ed or Linda, with them not doing the Pledge of Allegiance while they're doing the Zoom meetings?
Well, if it's technically not possible, I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Well, it's technically possible, but it's just tough to hear.
If you can't understand what people are saying, and it doesn't sound like it's technically possible. You're saying if everybody's talking at the same time, you won't hear anybody.
Right.
Yeah, it comes up as mush. Yeah. Okay.
And and I'm okay with that too. I mean, first of all, people should be happy that they figured out a way to conduct the city's business.
Yes.
And getting together without and still obeying the social distancing. I know that they're doing virtual meetings in North Smithfield too, and I don't know about the pledge. I mean, the pledge is very important to me. I do Flag Day and all of the above, but at least they're trying to conduct the city's business and adapting to a new way of doing things, and it's not intentional. And I think it's okay
that they make this. It's just a slight alteration, and when things go back to the old normal, because I want the old normal,
I know you do. I do too.
they'll go back to doing it. So okay,
right, exactly.
They could compromise and have the city council president. Say the Pledge of Allegiance, and everyone.
I brought that up
during that time.
Yeah, I brought that up to Dave. I actually said you can either have the city clerk do it, by just have her do it every single week, or you can, like we did in elementary school, we're going to go up and down the rows. Everyone takes a different day or a different meeting, and just have now it's the president's turn. Now it's the vice president's turn. Okay, now we're going to go alphabetically, and it's your turn to do the Pledge of Allegiance. And again, you could do it that way, I guess. If that's going to appease everybody, still then it comes down to the person saying the pledge
has to stand up.
They need to stand, or they need to sit, so you can hear them, or else they're going to stand and they're going to sound like they're way in the back of the room, and you might not be able to hear them.
Right.
So there's got to.
You know what I wondered too? Ed, that's a good idea because you can figure out ways to do it. Can they record something? Ahead of time.
That could be done too. Record it ahead of time and make sure just play it
and just play it, but I mean, I think the pledge is very important. I really, really do. But I give them credit for trying to at least having their virtual meetings and trying to do the city's business, and do what they need to do.
But remember, every time you try to please somebody, you're going to displease somebody else.
Yeah, and that particular person that brought that up is what's the word I'm looking for? Very critical of lots of things, in the past,
Okay, well,
is that okay?
Yes, that's fine. I don't think the city council is going to go back to saying it, though, unless something happens within the next week. I think the next city council meeting comes up this coming Monday.
Monday, right? Yeah.
So we'll see if anything changes. So moving on, Woonsocket-based CVS is expanding their coronavirus testing. On Monday, they say they will offer self-swab tests at up to 1,000 locations by the end of May, and they're aiming for 1 million tests monthly. They're doing a lot of testing in different states, not just Rhode Island. So good for them. The CEO, Larry Merlo, was among a number of retail business executives to speak at the White House yesterday about progress on testing. So he's rubbing elbows with the big guys up there in Washington.
Yes, he is. Saw that. So,
good for them, and good for CVS for stepping up and doing this. But that must be difficult, Linda. You were a nurse, but you never had to be like out in the elements and wearing all this protective gear and testing people while they're walking up or they're in cars. Can you imagine the difficulties?
That's very difficult. It was always, when I was gowned up, it was in the hospital, but then I was also a visiting nurse for a while. So, but I mean, it's still not out in public, but in the person's home. But yeah, that's really tricky, especially when they're trying to do those swabs through just that little bit of room and an open car window. Excuse me. Yeah, that's not easy, and even in the cold and all. But they're doing it, and they're doing a great job. And and those are the people that we have to say thank you, and do that, because it seems as though science is telling us that testing is key. How many people are we finding that might be positive and don't even have any symptoms, and just giving it out to everybody, So, but yeah, it's first of all, it's very difficult. I can tell you this, because I did some time in the OR and I did some time in the hospital where we do have to gown up and wear the masks, and we even started learning about the hoods and all. It's awful. It's awful to be all gowned and masked up like that. It's not a pleasant situation at all. So
Jane told me that she used to wear the mask, the N95 mask. Yeah,
yep.
In fact, she was an OR nurse for 34 years.
Yeah.
And that plastic shielding thing in front of the face. She had, she was wearing both.
Mm-hmm.
A mask.
And I bet she told you it's not a pleasant thing at all.
No.
At all. And
would the shield, Ed? Would the shield, or Linda? Would the shield mask up from breathing?
Well,
would it fog up, I should say.
Well, the mask kind of doesn't help your breathing at all. But then the shield is there to protect like your eyes and so it's a double protection. But but that's the thing that leaves a dent in your head and makes you sweat, and it's not. These healthcare people, the docs, the nurses, the techs, and they're going through hell in a handbasket with all this stuff on. Besides, they interviewed one doctor, I think it was in New York. He had pronounced 5 people dead in his shift. I mean, wow. It's not nice. It's not a good scene at all.
That was going to be my other question for you, Linda. Wearing all this stuff, it must be hot and must make you sweat. Okay, it's not bad right now because the temperatures are still cool. What happens when the temperature hits 75, 80, 85, and you're still going to be, and those people have to be outside?
That's right.
These tests, it's going to be awful.
Right, and I would think as it starts getting hotter and the people perspire, they're going to have to look. They'll probably have to change the people doing them, because they have to worry about dehydration, with that. In the OR, though, it's always cold in the OR.
Yeah, I was going to say the OR is always cold, yeah.
It's always cold, So you didn't mind putting that stuff on. It kept you warm. Well, I mean, except the stuff on your face. But, it's not a pleasant situation out there at all on those front lines. And,
Linda,
Ed, your wife's a nurse, and, those are my colleagues, even though I don't know them personally. I know them,
You know what they're going through, right?
I do. It's not fun. I mean, the closest thing I can tell you is I was still in the hospital and also been out in the community with visiting nurses when HIV first came on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that we didn't know much about, and it was scary. It was scary, I remember as a young nurse starting IVs and doing blood gases and such, and we used our bare hands. And then when all that started, then, oh, no, you better wear gloves. And we said, yeah, I guess we should. But learning how to do this in a gloved hand was very different, But the more we know about things, then you start feeling a little bit easier. It's not easier, but it's scary. It's a scary scene. It is,
Sure is. All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program. You can still call in comments and questions at 766-1240 or email them into me, Joe at OneSocketRadio.com.
Local businesses are the key to success in our community. That's why Leo at Switzer Automotive of Woonsocket is a growing business, and Leo and his staff have been giving their expert mechanical services for many years. Switzer knows how important car maintenance is, and their quality service is always guaranteed. Trust the experts at Switzer. Remember, they provide complete foreign and domestic car and truck repairs. Client confidence is their most valuable product. Switzer Automotive, 309 Olo Street, Woonsocket. We salute you for your continuing success in our community.
Well, the coronavirus restrictions certainly are changing the lives of everybody. That includes the folks at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining there on Main Street in Woonsocket. Now, Chan's, of course, no longer can have the Four Seasons banquet room with the special parties and all, and they certainly can't have the egg rolls and jazz, and they can't seat you in the dining room either because of restrictions. But Chan's has something that no other Chinese restaurant in the state has. A fantastic, easy-to-get-to drive-up window right in the back off Clinton Street. Now, you know how to get to Chan's from the Clinton Street parking lot. Well, right next to that is the drive-through. And there's a sign right on the railroad trestle. Turn left, go right up in there. At Chan's, just call 765-1900 ahead, 765-1900. Great food from Chan's. Just a reminder from your friends at ON Radio. ON Cares.
It's Coffee and on ON, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. Ed, you like that little ditty, that little Beatles parody?
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
You got to wash your hands. That's me singing, by the way. Why are you laughing, Linda?
I think that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
That is not me laughing. That's not me singing.
I like that.
It is pretty well done. You got to wash your hands. That's very nice. All right.
Hey, can I just add something to that previous conversation?
Sure.
We were talking about, when it gets warmer, it's going to be more difficult for the nurses and everyone to do the work outside in these, drive-up places. Jane was in the Army. She was a nurse in the OR in the Army. Oh. Yeah, she was a major. And she was in Honduras and Panama, and it don't get cold over there.
No, never.
And the MASH units that she was in, they, they don't have air conditioning in those tents.
Right.
So they're able to function.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say that.
Oh, sure.
At least around here, nobody's shooting at you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
All right. You want the good news? You want some good news?
Yes.
Instead of coronavirus stuff. Every year about this time, you read about at least one student that this happens to, and there's a student down in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. He was accepted to all 8 Ivy League schools.
Wow.
So
wow.
His name is Craig McFarland. He was accepted to Yale first, and that was back in December, and then the others came in. Princeton, Columbia, University of Pennsylvania, Brown University, Dartmouth, Cornell, and finally Harvard. But he was also accepted at 17 other colleges and universities.
Wow.
Imagine applying to all of them. And, and he was accepted at all of them.
Wow.
He can go wherever he wants to go. He's 18. He's the valedictorian of his graduating class. Let's see. He had a weighted GPA of 4.98 due to his interest in languages and significant courses load that include classes in French, Spanish, and Arabic. So no word, though, on where he's going to go or what he wants to study.
Wow.
But that's still impressive.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
To try to say that you were accepted at all those Ivy League schools and 17 others as well.
Congratulations.
I just remember back in school, they said, the guidance counselor always said, well, send the application to the one you think you're going to get into, but, send one other as kind of like a pie in the sky kind of thing.
Right.
Just for laughs and to see if you get in kind of thing. Never was it 17 other schools. That seems, nah, that was too much work. And I got into the one I wanted to get into, so that was yeah. So I was happy with that. So are you watching a lot of Netflix, Linda? You streaming a lot of movies or?
No, not really. Not really. I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't sit well. Yesterday was sad. I had to clean. It was raining, so I didn't get to get out there because I'm up to about 5 miles a day now.
Okay.
And so that's my husband knows if I don't get to walk outside, that I get a little cranky.
So and yesterday was not a good.
So you're out every day.
Yesterday, well, I am out now. I try to walk a couple times a day, but today I will. And when I'm finished here, I'll get out there.
Okay.
But I don't watch. I watch TV, but not a lot. Not a lot.
Okay. What about you, Ed? You doing a lot of more streaming or what?
Yeah, I'm watching maybe. No, I'm not really watching more.
No. Okay.
No, and I'm not really watching much Netflix. I'm watching reruns of Star Trek.
Oh, there
okay.
you go.
I've always loved Star Trek and The Next Generation and all that kind of stuff in the movies, and I've been watching that, And I like to read, so,
Yeah, reading is good. Have you been riding, Ed?
No, I haven't been.
No?
I haven't been, no.
Are the horses missing it?
I'm still working.
That's
I'm working
right, too, yeah. I'm sorry.
I go to the office once a week, but I've got a full setup at home, so I'm still working. We just transfer the phones to ring on my cell phone on days that Paul's not in, and
and everything works out okay, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
What I've been, my son turned me on to this program. I believe it's on Netflix. I was always a big fan of Jerry Seinfeld, so he goes, "Have you watched this? Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee." Have you heard of this?
No. But that sounds funny.
It is, because the show only lasts anywhere from about 14 to 18 minutes. And it's all edited together. And what it is, it's Jerry Seinfeld, usually in a very nice car. Last one I saw, he was in an Aston Martin from Goldfinger. Or he's in a Rolls Royce, or he's in a Jaguar. And he tells you a little bit about the car and how nice it is as he's driving it. And then he picks up another comedian and at their home or wherever they want to be picked up. And then it says going out for coffee, but they usually go out and have breakfast. And they film them in the car just talking. And then they film them at the restaurant. And you should see the other people that are just gawking, looking at them because they can't believe it's Jerry Seinfeld and somebody else, some other famous comedian. And then they get back in the car and he drives them home, and that's the premise of the show.
Wow!
But other than that, it's really funny because two comedians get together, they're just naturally funny.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
They reminisce about stuff or how they met or something like that, and they just it's just laughter. You just never know how long the show is going to be, but basically you figure around 15 minutes, and so that's not bad. So yeah, my son turned me on to this, and I've been doing a lot. I've been watching a lot of that because it's just it's quick, but then 2 hours have gone by, and I guess I have a lot of episodes to catch up on because I just saw one where Jerry was having breakfast with Don Rickles. So
that must have been that's got to be a good one.
I'm like, oh, it was. And I say, but Don died how many years ago now?
Wow,
I'm like,
yeah.
I wonder when this was actually filmed. I must have. I'm like, So that one was good, and the one where he went and had food, had some food with Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks was hysterical. I mean, it's just It was just so if you get a chance, and look up comedians in cars getting coffee.
That sounds like good. And we need humor right now.
It is.
It's important. Laughing is good for your health. It's in your heart. It's good exercise. So that's what you need.
And since it was filmed a few years ago, they're out at different restaurants, and there's no social distancing problems, and so there's no COVID-19 to worry about, and
no masks.
No masks on anybody. It's great. All right. So one of the other big things over the weekend was the NFL draft. All right, and the Patriots drafted a guy out of college, and for some reason, it's because there's no sports going on. The sports people have got to come up with something.
Right.
And they've been hammering this guy because he has a tattoo on his arm.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard this story?
No.
Yeah.
The new kicker or something, isn't he?
What's that? He's a kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the new place kicker. That's right. So he's got a tattoo on his arm, Linda. He said he got it when he was a kid, when he was a teenager. Well, he's a kid now, but he got it when he was a teenager, and he thought it was, well, this is what he says, that it was representative of the military because he supports the military. Turns out it's some right-wing militia group that's racist.
Oh, wow.
It had to be pointed out to him. And so, but now everyone's coming down on him and coming down on the Patriots for drafting this kid. And the latest I read was he goes, I'm embarrassed by this, and I'm going to get it removed.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, that's nice. And I'm thinking, but if he wants to have that tattoo, he can have that tattoo. It's perfect.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
And the only people that really he would need to address would be his other teammates.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to answer to me as the fan. At least I don't think so. But the sports people, the sports reporters, because they got nothing to report on. Oh, here's something new. here's a little bit of controversy. So they jumped all over him.
Wow. Did you see the tattoo?
I have seen it.
What is it?
Well, it looks like it looks kind of like the American flag going up inside of his arm, and there's something else on it. There's some kind of emblem on the flag.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, all right. It's if you didn't know, you'd probably just think, all right, there's something on the flag. Ed, have you seen it?
I did see it, and it meant nothing to me.
Okay. Yeah. So he just said he was a dumb kid. I think he got it when he was 17. He says he thought it represented something else. Turns out it represents something completely different, of which he's not a part of. And so he says he'll either cover it up or change it somehow or get it removed. So, but we got to always look for the ugly side of things, I guess, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it seems that's the way this world works.
Yeah, you're right. All right, we've come to the end of the program, so we thank you very much for listening in, everyone. Ed Crew, thanks for phoning in today.
Always a pleasure.
All right, Linda, thanks for phoning in today as well.
Oh, always a pleasure, Joe.
All right, I'm going outside, and I'm not wearing a mask.
In your yard.
Hold on, I'm calling the cops right now.